And howdy, we're back.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Do you hear me okay?
Oh yeah. Right. Is it working?
We are functional. Went to the
All right.
doctor.
Oh, but
Went to
we're
the
all there.
doctor today. You
Oh
start with
yeah.
a joke. What?
You headed to the doctor?
I had a conference online with my doctor today. I haven't seen
Oh,
the doctor in 7 years. I kid you not.
well, he's gonna be your best friend. He's gonna put a big smile on your face.
Well, today he said that I was in great health. I didn't need to take
Yeah.
anything, thank God.
He's just buttering you up for the thing that's about to come.
Well, I've already got that scheduled. I got a sleep study coming too. That's Tuesday.
Yeah, you gonna flunk that.
Yeah. Especially when they you hook up all those wires. I was talking to my mother-in-law and she's like, you're bound to fail this a test where you sleep uncomfortably with a bunch of wires connected to you.
I mean,
Uh,
what are those wires for? Brain activity?
I
Yeah,
don't
good
know.
luck.
They'll probably have me swallow one and stick one down my nose or something. But even though I started out with this being a big flipping day, we want to talk about '04, right?
Well, we're gonna work our way through oh 03, oh 04, oh flip.
You like flipping random up there? I won't be flipping.
Apparently, I'm getting my camera to flip around too.
My camera doesn't do that. I have to literally do it with the box. I have to move the box. Oh,
But if that's what you want to start with, we'll start with the flip.
let's get it out of the way. Let's just
Let's
knock this
let's
crap out.
let's let's talk about the flip for a few minutes while everybody's getting warmed up, and we're gonna say hello to everybody in the chat. If TFO Media came by but can't stay because he's got to work. Dustin, One Vision, and East Coast, and James, all here. And here is the flip, or that little bit of video that DJI released for it. So yeah, it's basically a flying Action 5. I would say.
I'm calling it the Mini 5 officially. So I'm not saying flip anymore. I am now a Mini 5 flyer. It is the Mini 5. Sub 250, fifth generation Mini 5.
Well,
Assuming I get to see one.
you can call it what you want. Um, but this form factor does not do anything for me. I'm sure it flies great.
I
No, it
thought you
flies.
liked them curvy.
I'm looking at all these hinges, and I'm just seeing failure points.
Well, what I'm seeing is a flying pancake. So, but it's really got a it's a flying pancake with an excellent camera system. So if we can take out its best qualities,
Yeah. But that does bring up a point that I was looking at earlier, or kind of thinking to myself. it still has a 3-axis mechanical gimbal on it. And, everybody's working on this EIS crap and nobody can get it really to work. There's a reason why they're still using mechanical gimbals,
Yeah.
3-axis gimbals. They just cannot get there on EIS. EIS meaning electronic image stabilization.
Yeah. I think I think it affects the visual qualities too much. And what you gain in stabilization, you take away in pixels. And I think that's where DJI is the best company because they understand this and they don't compromise their camera quality except for obviously with the Neo. But this one is really good. I am very, very impressed with the video. And that to me, I'm a video guy. Now, as far as like weather resistance and flying in difficult conditions, this one is not, this is the one you throw in your backpack, but you can throw an Air 3S in your backpack just as easy or a Mini 4. And a
Well,
Mini
Chuck
4,
is here, and Chuck is here, and Laurie's here. So howdy to the both of you.
but no, I'm impressed with it. I like it. I think the folding qualities to it are neat. I like innovative design, and this is innovative design. It isn't garbage. It at least I haven't touched it yet, and I hope I can touch it. I did order it. But I was talking to Kai earlier as we were getting ready for the show. I don't know if I'm in like I was in with the minis, because with the minis, I knew what I was getting to, and this thing is effing loud. It is flipping loud. And we have to, yeah.
Any ducted drone is gonna be loud. I mean, there's no freaking surprise about it. We know that. Okay. And
Yeah.
we've got a 2-bladed prop here. And you got all this cage work around it, and we know why they did it. It's because to satisfy flying over people prop protection.
Yeah, you can't, but this has no RID. Does not have remote ID in it. So 107 pilots, I finally, Dobo said that. He said it doesn't have RID, so nobody can fly this thing with a 107 over people unless you put a module on it, which I have 2 of. But then it's not sub 250 and it doesn't matter.
Well, does it really matter? Because you
No.
want to fly it for 107, and 107 you don't have
Right.
200 up to 50.
I'm going to have to put an RID module on this and register it to fly it legally. And, if I want to fit within the confines of the law that wants to kill this drone anyway. But I'm excited for it. I'm going to fly it, and, I'm going to, Jasper made it. He actually made a good comment, and he, in his, his tweets he put out, and he says, I'm not interested in it. It's an interesting concept. He says, but anything that's this loud, he said, when he flew the Mini or the Air 1, it was the same thing. You had this really loud, whiny thing, and people were annoyed by it. But once you went into the other series, the Mini one, not the Air 1, the Air 1 was the noisy one with the, the bi-blade prop. So taking steps backwards. Sometimes to go forward, you have to go backwards. And we'll see. I want to touch it. I don't have tactile sense yet. So that's coming. Hopefully by Friday. I'm supposed to have it on Friday of next week. So assuming that it makes it through customs and it gets here into the United States, my first hurdle will be the drone entering the country. So I'm waiting for that point. and then I will share probably next Tuesday or Friday. If I know by then, I can share Friday, whether it made it into the country or not.
Well,
Gosh.
drone shots, Jackrabbit Scott are here. Howdy guys, drone delirium is here. Of course, some people are asking about the 04, but
Let's go. Let's go there.
We're gonna finish up this flip thing real quick. So,
Okay, tell me some more about the flip that you like or you dislike, or things that you
well,
saw.
the lighter thing seems to work a little spotty at best. Kelly's tried it with some trees, and larger stuff works, smaller stuff not so much. So I'm not really interested in this thing. I see too many failure spots. I too much noise. It's not. It's probably great for a beginner that don't know any better, but I'm just not in for this one. I'd rather go back to the Mini 2 than this.
Yeah, I'm really a fan of the original miniseries because they're quiet. They're true minis. They're light. The video is great. To me, when the 4K came out, it was like everything went full circle. I'm like, we're back. They brought the mini one back, and then they added a updated camera. I just want to share one last thing about the flip, just so people know what I'm doing. But I just put up. This is obviously we've got import export issues. So what I decided to do was find the most friendly country close by, and I ordered it from Canada. So this is coming from DR Drone Canada. Don't mistake that for Dad Random Drone Canada, but if they get it to me, they might become Dad Random Drone Canada. But that's where I ordered it from, and I'm hoping that it makes it here, and it's shorter trip. But it's gonna be here a little bit faster than the other ones, assuming it makes it through customs. This is a company in Nova Scotia, Halifax, and of course, if you're an Oak Island fan, of course, this drone probably is going to go to Oak Island, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where I ordered it. So if it does come and everything is cool, then I'll let everybody know that there's a location we can get the drone from. There's not a lot of BS to get it here, and you can, if you do, obviously, hopefully we'll get like Adorama or B&H Photo. Maybe those guys will get a batch of them. I was hoping that like, Race Day or one of those companies would get some, but because they obviously got, the 04 units. So anyway, that's where I'm trying to import it from. And I want to know what it's like. I think everybody wants to get my impressions on it. And
Yes. I just spot a little something here. The props on the flip bolt to the side of the motor hub. So they must have little prongs sticking out on either side of the motor hub for the props to attach to.
some little like a bushing or something that goes over the top of the
No,
or
you got
built into the motor.
the motor bell. Let me grab them over here.
Attached to the motor bell. Somebody's gonna build a better mousetrap with these props. You know it's gonna happen.
All right. Here's your regular old motor.
Make it big.
And,
Make it big. Hey Kai, turn off the screen there, share. There we go. Go full screen. There we go.
So
Yep.
this is your normal motor bell. And these props must attach to the side of it because you don't have the height within this framework for it to sit on top of the motor. So they bolt onto the site. So you get these little bitty screws. I'm just seeing all sorts of problems with this.
We will definitely find out its weak points.
Have a tap coming out of the side of the motor tap that they're attaching the blades to. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll have to. You'll have to look at it when you get it.
Yeah, I'll get a top down view of it. And
As many people as there were having problems, like on the Mini, was the individual props and the screws, and stripping the screws out and not being able to, basically having to break off the prop to get a pair of vice grips on it and get the damn screws out. Yeah, I'm seeing.
the other thing I didn't really care for much, I like the solid gimbal guard, the solid plastic molded to it. I didn't like that it has a kind of a, it has a rubberized silicone. Yeah. Because then the gimbal can move around where the other one actually protects the gimbal. So if you shove that in the bag, that gimbal is going to be susceptible to people, hitting it and stuff. Assuming you don't put it in a case of some kind.
Yeah.
But that's definitely an issue.
I was just wondering, I mean, how the hell do I change out the props? And you see the screws for the motor right there. So the bell hangs from the bottom and has two taps coming off of it for the props to screw to. But you strip one of those screws and you are screwed.
Yeah. Someone will design a 3D print gimbal guard.
Part somehow that I'm not seeing right now.
This is going to be very tough to modify. I don't think anybody's going to really be able to modify this design. It's just there's too many. It's too built in. But okay, battery, a little more energy, a little more flight time, bigger battery. Because the weight of the craft is more the battery and not the because the battery used to be is obviously part of the weight formula, and the 2400 milliamp batteries this is 33 or something like that. And I guess they had to take components out because of that. So anyway, there's so many unknowns right now. I was able to, see it fly. And I think Captain Drone did a really good job at putting it through different conditions. He's got the cold climate. He's got wind. He's got,
Captain Drone already has one.
Yeah. That's why I got it from Canada. Because I figured, hey, if Captain Drone got one, it got into Canada easy. Yeah, he did a good video. I like him because he's quirky and weird, and he gives you a layman's version of it. He's got a lot of experience flying a lot of different things. He tends to like stuff. Ken Dono. Didn't learn much from Ken's You know,
We
he
have
just
a
kind of
new
went through the motions, getting it done. You know.
Ah! We got a new arrival, Chaser FPV. I just smurfed him. Howdy,
Chaser.
fella.
All right, we are going to hit FPV here because we have big FPV talk to hit. There's no
Yeah, we
question.
got plenty of FPV we need to talk about.
Yeah, we got to
But
get Kai. We got to get Kai out of the dark ages, man. We got to get him out of the freaking walk snail. We got to get him walking the DJI walk.
so, well, I guess then we'll open up the gate for.
Yeah, I think I'm done with the flip right now. I have nothing to say about it at this point.
Well, we've got nothing to say because we don't have it.
We don't have
So
one, right? Got some
we
pretty
got
good videos. So
information. We've seen, yeah, we had some good
yeah,
reviews.
I remember.
Kelly did a pretty good job with this.
Yeah,
Now
yeah. No, Kelly. I thought Kelly did a good job. He had a very detailed review. I mean, he
I'm
usually puts it through.
yeah,
I
but
saw Kelly's.
I'm wondering now that he's got this semi-autonomous drone that is going to be his cameraman. What happens to Chris? Because Chris is usually his cameraman, but then I remembered Chris is also the pilot.
Going to be flipping out of luck, I guess.
Well, no, Chris is also the pilot because we all know Kelly's and his impacts.
Yeah, I'm not going there. That's where you need to go. You can go there.
But Dust does not know.
Crash Bandicoot.
I'm going to have to fix that right now.
Crash Bandicoot, Kelly.
Yeah. Well, he calls it impact. He doesn't crash. He has impact with the ground. Fix that.
Well, I just found a shock absorbing component for an 04 air unit on Beta FPV. I told you I was looking for those guys to come up with something. And this is a camera mount for a Meteor 75. So this is for the 04 Lite.
Let's take a look at the 04 units as a whole before we go into any specialized stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I need something to mount right now. I got freaking two air units coming.
Let's look at the two air units that are out there. So we got the Pro and we got the regular air. We got the air unit, which is the light. Oh, I call it the light, and we've got the Pro unit. A light is a smaller board, a less output board, a smaller camera, more intended for smaller quads. Has a 1 to 3S power input, but only puts out 750 milliwatt. Where the Pro has the big 1 over 1.3 inch sensor, DJI's default. You've got the big unit, which takes an SD card. The Lite has 23 gigs of onboard storage, but no SD card slot. But you can record 4K 60 to the onboard storage. With the Pro unit, you can stick an SD card in it and record to your heart's content. Both of them are 4K 120 capable. There's some race mode they enabled this time around. But the biggest problem is the mounting, because the screws on the Pro camera are 60 millimeters apart, and basically they ran out of room within the unit. So they had to push the screws out to the side. Doesn't seem to be as big of a deal for the light because the camera is small enough. It's only 14 mil wide with a plastic housing over it. So you can print up a little adapter and make it fit into existing 03 frames. where the Pro camera is a very limited assortment of frames available right now that thing fits on. Chris Rosser was also one of the reviewers for this, and he also has his own line of AOS frames. He already came up with a kit that you can print yourself on your 3D printer to make this fit into his frames, but only the frames that have the metal cages around the camera. And basically, he's flipping the cages inside out or backwards, and then with the extra space, he makes adapters to where you can actually mount this camera within that frame. So, and I guess you got something you want to show us?
No, I was just looking. I was just looking at, and
Here.
I'm looking to. This is what I'm probably going to put the 04 light in. So I've got to get some ideas here. So I think it's pretty close. It's the big thing is the mounting issue, because it's a 2-screw mount, and like you said, Rosser's quads, and we have, we got, this is the, I talked a little bit about where the heck is my, hold on here, I gotta grab something.
Where's AOS frames?
Yeah, I need a new front end. We need a new front end for this bad boy. So this is potentially, we're gonna mess around a little bit with the old Kai 2 5-inch, and I can replace the front end. So I mean, I need to get the Rosser front end kit, or you were trying to get me to replace the whole frame, which makes a lot of sense too. Probably more sense to replace the entire frame with the new long range 5. And then we can get rid of that. We can get rid of the camera mount on the top, that TPU mount. That thing can go. And then we can, so what's the standoff height on this one?
I don't know. Is it 20 mil?
20? Yeah, 20. Now that I got a better 3D printer, you think I should 3D print this thing?
No, you should take that thing and chunk it and go down to
Get a real one?
Harbor Freight and buy.
I know.
Spend
Actually,
about $20 on a set of calibers at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, I got a Harbor Freight right by my work. I should just go there. No kidding. I mean, I would use it. There's no question about it.
I mean,
but
I got some calibers, but they are a bit more than.
So here's the single the single antenna mount. So we got to convert this to a dual antenna mount, and then find me a front camera holder. I'd like to reuse the frame. I'd just like to, see if we can get it back to its glory, get it in the air. I know you've been trying to tell me to just chunk it and just get a new, $70 frame. And
You see, this is what I use.
Your caliper.
This is my calibers. Whoop, come back here. And they cost a bit more than. Hello?
Yep. I can hear you. See you. Oh, there you go.
No, I'm talking to my camera.
Oh.
But yeah, I had a buddy who was a machinist that was getting rid of some of his older tools, and
$34. It's in stock too at our local one. $34.
battery ain't dead, it's turned off. The thing does have an on and off switch.
So I did find one here, Kai. If you want to.
You gonna share it?
Yeah, right here. That one right
Yep.
there. $34.
Yep.
Got a depth gauge on the bottom here. We've got an inside diameter, outside diameter. It's digital. $34 in stock. So I could just run down and pick it up.
Yep.
And that's what I'm going to do that. That is on my list of trips. It's going to happen. I need that. I need it 1,000 times. So handy. They free ship it. Sent to me. Oh, here's one that's $22. That's in store. Let's see. Right there. That's 22. Yeah, it's in stock too. So there we go. $22. Like you said, $20.
I mean, we're not doing any machinist type work, so we don't need to have that 0.001 mil
Right.
accuracy, but yeah, decent pair of calibers is.
Now, what do you think of this one, Kai? Whoops. $9.99.
You take that and the plastic calibers that you printed out on your 3D printer and take them all and just take them straight to the camp.
This is $10. It's $10.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's definitely plastic. There's no way that that's not plastic for $10. Okay. What do you think, Kai?
I think we do want a bit more accurate than that.
Okay. All right. You know me.
Especially when you have to measure like screws.
No, not that. No, not that one. Drone shots is like, don't do it.
The sad part is I could absolutely see you walking in the freaking Harbor Freight to have all three of those hanging side by side, and you will walk out with a $10 pair of calipers.
Okay, what about this one? You saying no, the 3400 ones? Is that the first? That's the earlier one that I was looking at?
Well,
let's see.
You got that's an 8-inch caliber. So
6-inch right here.
That's a 6-inch for 23. The $34 was an 8-inch caliber.
Yeah, I don't need a freaking 8-inch caliber.
I have to look and see what mine is. I think mine is a 6.
He's telling me he wants me to get an 8-inch one.
No, mine is a 6.
Why should I get an 8-inch one? Just because I could do frames and just larger, like motor.
You wouldn't know what to do with 8 inches anyway.
That's what she said.
That's what he said. Sorry, Laurie, I couldn't help myself.
He said I'll thank him if I get. Okay, I'm gonna go down there. I'll go down there and touch and feel, because I mean I end up getting something like this. I end up getting something like this, and this is, obviously is my fakie. Okay. This is the one I made, but this is just for getting around about. I need to step in the world of somewhat engineering. So I'm not so cheap, but all right. I'll look at the 8 inchers. Okay. I will look at them. So I just need to get out of the complete dark. I'm literally in the dark right now. Okay. I'm definitely in the dark ages of tools. So I love Harbor Freight. God, hey, Kai, I went, I told you, I went to Home Depot this weekend because I was making my daughter a project, and my father-in-law was joking. He says, do the project. He says, you could buy new tools. And I'm like, that sounds like a good idea. So I go down and I went down. I have to make 2 cuts. Okay. This project requires 2 cuts. So I bought a miter saw.
So you bought 2 saws, one for each cut.
And a brand new belt sander. But I
And
guys,
here.
but I was guys, I was replacing 30-year-old tools. I got tools that when I was contracting, I have tools 30 years old from I have a
You have
compound miter
tools,
saw from Harbor Freight from 30 years ago, and I'm still using it.
you have tools that are old enough to drink now.
And Kai was saying you probably threw away a better tool to get the one the Ryobi I bought. Yes, I did. I probably did. Except that one was worn out.
All right. Well, we'll go back to this whole 04 thing. Let's get back on subject here.
We got to get to 04 here. Let's get to 04. Yeah.
Yeah. So 04 looks very promising. The 04 Lite is basically a direct competitor to the Walksnail V3 unit. Was the 14 mil camera on it. They're priced the same, same input voltage on it, except that DJI managed to put an actual USB plug on it. Walksnail, if you're listening, Cadex, if you're listening, for crying out loud, put a freaking USB port on the VTXs. Make it a little easier for us to update our shit and download the footage of them.
Oh, exactly.
I know they have to pay royalty for every USB port they install, but Christ, I don't think that the weight savings justify not having it, for crying out loud. Yeah, for crying out loud. So I'm very impressed with it. The thing is, I don't even have the Goggles 2 or Integra anymore because, as how Possum put it so elegantly, that goggle is a facial torturing device.
Yeah, I did tell Kai today that I did buy the N3s, so I do have N3s coming. I'm curious. So if I'm going to fly 04, I've got to have an N3 discussion. Because I don't want to tell people, oh, don't buy something or buy a more expensive product if they can't be useful when you can get the N3s for under $300. I mean, very, very reasonably priced. They're literally a steal in the goggle world. You can go
$230 is a very good price for a digital goggle,
especially for the stuff that they do. They do all the basic stuff. So, and then you can get an air unit for an air unit light that has a really capable VTX for, $100, $110. It's literally it's an entry level, and that's the thing we can get in. So obviously I'm a fanboy.
Yeah, goggles M3, $229 from DJI.
It damn near costs the same. It damn near costs the same as the controller. That's nuts.
Well,
obviously,
the FPV controller, the DJI FPV controller ain't worth no $199.
It's true.
Okay?
There's hardly a battery in it. Guys, saw me.
It connects, and for those that don't know, 04, everything connects through the goggle. So the controller connects to the goggle, and the goggle connects to the VTX.
Guys, the The flight I made this weekend over the crash site, I'm not going to go there, I promise, was Avata 2 controller to 04, but Avata, which is 04. So that's the same, we think. I don't know. I have not put an 04 unit in anything and flown it to compare it. So
either way, there's some options with DJI, but I'm trying to justify spending the $500 on the goggles 3. That is going to be a stretch. I'm all committed on Walksnail at this point, and shit, I can just let me pull this up here. My preference for Walksnail for VTX is actually the V3 VTX, which is the small one. And that only puts out 700 milliwatt too. And then I use the Pro camera with that, and that gets me really good footage and keeps me really lightweight for my sub 250 builds. Whereas there's power. Need FPV gear.
yeah, I'm excited to fly 04. I think I am way more excited to fly the 04 air unit than I am to fly the flip. So
and I misspoke. It's 500 milliwatt that thing puts out. But 500 to 700 is not much of a stretch as far as getting more distance out of it. But this right here is my preferred VTX, and then I pair it with the where's that camera?
would the 04 light camera VTX, wouldn't that be a nice little unit to throw in a glider?
Yeah. If
Just light as crap.
If you can make the
Mount.
spacing work.
You got a little tiny, I mean, it still has quite the range, you know. I mean, $100. I mean, you can take, buy a little, little wing and throw that sucker in there and go to town.
The HD Pro camera is a really good camera. You can buy that VTX with a 14 mil camera for like 109. Going this route is definitely more expensive because 65 for the camera and 79 for the VTX. But this camera fits in all the old frames without seeing part of it like you have the problem with the 03 camera, where the 03 camera was so much shorter that you couldn't use the old frames with them.
Right. Because you'd have to saw the front end off so you didn't so you could see
so you wouldn't have the frame in
right.
view. This thing is deep enough to where see, there's the
right.
03. That's the HD camera in here. And it's protected, but the frame is not in view on this thing. So. Anyway, yeah, that the footage looks good out of 04, but the spacing is definitely a concern. And now that I've got the 7-inch frame, I don't know how am I gonna do with that yet. I did order motors and stack for it.
Yeah, you'll
And
get you'll get the drone together. You'll get all the motors wired up and the flight controller set up. Then you just got to figure out the system you're going to throw in there.
originally I was gonna put a walk snail moonlight in there, but now I'm rethinking that. But the one thing we're still waiting on the 04s, and I don't think it's going to be long before we have it, but we don't have camera cables yet.
Yeah, because it's a bigger cable. It's a different cable connector. At least from the
walks now use the same type of connector, but walk snail cables do not work on 04. That's already been tried. And apparently you can't use the light camera with the Pro VTX or vice versa either. But both of them use the same cable. So if you can, salvage a cable out of an 04 Pro to stick in the 04 Lite, that might work. But we haven't got confirmation on that one yet either. So
at least we have guys. At least we have something to talk about. It's big to think about this. Not more than 3 months ago, we had nothing to talk about. At least we knew the 04 was coming. Now we're starting to try to fit. We're trying to shoehorn new things into these things. I just love to. I think it's time this year for me to move on with my transmitter, but I can't think of a reason to go past the X-Lite. It works. I do like it better to fly. I like to fly with the Hall gimbals and the X-Lite way better than the
hold on. I'm seeing something about
controller too.
Jim Stroning's son has a birthday, so happy birthday at Jim Stroning, Jim's son here.
Happy birthday.
Where's the cake?
Guys, I want 04 in all of my quads. I want 04 in everything. I'm going to put it in 3.5 inch where it's okay. If it doesn't go into this, then it's going into the Pavo 35. And the Pavo 35 is
we can worry about the Kai 2 another time.
I'll buy another light and throw a light in the Kai 2. $100. We get Kai 2 freaking going, man. She's ripe. I need a front end. I just need a front end.
Well, you still have the camera plates for that thing, right?
You know, it won't work. The length of the cables, like you're saying, that's not going to work. The 04 is not.
We can stack the VTX on top of your stack. On top of your flight controller, because that's an all-in-one, right?
Yeah, just shove it in the. No, this is not an all-in-one. It's a stack. So the biggest thing is the camera cable. I don't know if it's long enough because that 04 is so short.
That 04 camera cable ain't gonna be long enough.
Yeah, so that, like you're saying, we need an aftermarket camera cable before. I would put an 04 in there. Why not? It'd be kind of cool just to, get her flying and get a camera in there and bang, if she's 04 and, because this one I can mount this has got power. I can mount I can throw my my Insta360 Go 3S on this thing and go that way. If I wanted to get footage, I just want to fly it. So it's really fun to fly. It's got so much punch, and it's so light. It
And
weighs
DJI
nothing.
does not show a replacement cable yet.
Yeah, we just got to be patient. This crap's coming. It's on the way. It's so new. We're gonna get 1,000 accessories.
Which
You know, I,
goggles was the 04? It's the goggles 3 and the goggles N3 and the goggles 2 and the goggles Integra. So all four of those was the 04.
I got to go to Chris Rosser is what I got to do. You're telling me that's the way I got to go, and possibly have to buy a whole frame. But I'm not going there quite yet.
Well, you've got the original camera plates for that Kai 2, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. I may have one. I have to go through the parts in those boxes. I got parts everywhere. I probably do.
There should be 2 plates
Right.
originally used on that thing.
Yeah, I've got
If
a
you
box
still
full of
have
parts.
those, if you still have those, it's going to be easy for us to come up with an adapter to make the light camera work in that, because you can actually play with it and make the adapters to where the camera sits in the right spot. So that's easy. That we can do. You know, if you ain't scared to drill in the carbon fiber, we probably can make the pro camera work in it too. You're just gonna have to drill some extra holes in those camera plates. Which I won't okay. I don't recommend you drill holes in the carbon fiber. Okay.
No.
If you gotta do that, when I have to like open up a hole from M2 to M3, I will take the carbon fiber part and literally hold it under my faucet and the kitchen sink and drill a hole to where there's no dust.
Yeah, the AOS UL5X V5 is the closest, but it's a X design, and I'm going to see props no matter what. So unless I go with the UL10 V5, which is more of a dead cat. The old AOS 7 V5 too is a dead cat. These are all
The AOS 5 UL5 it doesn't have props in view. Nor does the 3.5 inch. They're all designed to not have props in view.
Yeah, there's a UL5X, which is the X frame, obviously, and then the UL5. So it's the regular UL5. Yeah, there it is.
No, I'm talking UL5 V5.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't have the back end that's all squeezed down. It has the metal front end, which is adaptable to the camera with the prints that he
The prints that he released.
released. So
Yeah. If anyone has AOS frames, go on Chris Rosso's channel. He's got a video released, how to install, how to make that work. And I think he's done an outstanding job and very clever design. He's basically taken the camera plates or the camera cage and flips them over to where it kicks them out further, and then uses that space to install an adapter. So, you getting your taco call yet? As a Taco
It'll
Tuesday?
come. It'll be here soon. Here, I'm on the CNC site right now looking. I'm gonna see if I can get this to work, and then
Akirasho. Howdy, fella.
Show. Yeah, there's plenty of like a V5 frame here, and then you got AOS V5 right there. UL5V. It's $75. He is so freaking. He loves himself so much.
Well, he spent a lot of time and money developing this shit. So,
yeah.
and I mean, there are 5-inch frames out there for over 100. So he's still in the middle on the price.
Yeah.
On the spread there.
Yeah, this is definitely the frame. But hey, Akira Show. It's almost taco time, Akira Show.
Yep.
We're milking out the time. But it'd be a shame, just be a shame to not put a front end on here, throw a camera in it, get it in the air, and it'd be fun to print some stuff out.
It would be a prime candidate for the 04 Lite.
The 04 Lite, yeah, we could. I'm willing to.
We just need a longer cable.
Right, I am definitely willing to throw an 04 Lite in there, and then it just brings it up to 04 standards. Any of the drones that I've ripped my ripped out the the guts out of. Oh, it's hard to not buy $100 VTX. It really is going to be hard to not. It's in such a sweet spot, especially when we figure out how to mount it correctly, so it fits in with the least amount of, and the best of all worlds. So we got some really cool things ahead. If you're wondering where I got my 04 stuff, RDQ. So
I actually ordered the stack and the motors for the 7-inch off of RDQ. This Power Drone was out of motors. And 3 motors.
Pilot Drone doesn't have it yet. Pyro Drone eventually gets it, and their shipping is way faster. So for me,
well, they all had in stock, and then a day later they were out of stock.
Yeah, they're sold out already.
There was a run on the 04 stuff.
Well, they're selling them in California, and everybody wants to get drone footage of the fires. So
okay. Now that you brought it up, I'm going to have to say a few things to that jackass and his Mini 3.
Yeah.
Flying in between the fucking airplanes.
Yeah. What an idiot.
This is going to hurt us big time.
Yeah.
I mean, they pulled parts of that Mini 3 out of the wing of the airplane. There's no way of getting around this one anymore, buddy.
Yeah.
And I hope they've got the freaking serial number and DJI is giving up the information who that serial number belongs to. This is the one time that I'm actually glad that you have to activate DJI shit and somebody can track down that serial number.
The thing is the Chinese can play hardball here and just go, no, we're not sharing information because you're giving us criticism because we do, but we're telling you we don't. So, in all fairness, for we don't have any information on that drone.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah, no, I hear
well.
what you're going.
There's another development too. Was DJI, and I don't know if you heard about this yet, but the geofencing just went out the window with DJI,
Yeah.
and it kind of makes sense. Why would DJI maintain a database for a country that's about to ban them anyway? So,
So it's so bad. It's just so not. There was such a nice world, and then politicians took over and just destroyed it. They destroyed the hobby, they destroyed everything about it, and they turned adversaries that were, who knows, I mean, obviously, if they were using things for bad, I want it protected, but gosh almighty, we were learning so much and we were doing so much as people.
yeah, I mean, I get it. A bird weighs a bit more than a freaking Mini 3, and a bird strike on airplanes is nothing unheard of.
But it's a compact object, and the plane is going 180, 200 miles an hour, hitting an object, even if it's sitting still. The batteries are where the density is, and that's
a bird will still try to avoid to the last second, where a drone just sits there and
you know what the odds are of it to hit the center of a wing? You know what the freaking odds are? Oh,
if you would have hit it on the spar, it probably wouldn't have left any damage either, and just disintegrated the drone. But it hit between the spars.
yeah.
Or no, not spar, but ribs.
My phone call.
Sorry. So it's not the spar. The spar is the tube that connects the wings to the fuselage. I'm talking the ribs. The wings have ribs on them, front to back. And if it would have hit in front of a rib, it probably wouldn't have had that. But it hit right between two ribs and went straight into the wing.
I gotta go.
Since the airplane have their freaking gas tanks in those wings, that could have got really ugly. So
I gotta go, Kai. This is
you gotta go. I gotta go. We all gotta go. Y'all take care. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Any more?
Yeah, we got a lot. We got things to talk about, and it'll progress. There's no question about it. So
stay tuned. We'll talk about it again next Tuesday.
Thanks, Kai. We'll see you.
Have a good night.